Hi, I'm DrRohrich, plastic surgeon in Dallas, Texas. Welcome to this special episode of Rohrich Knows Podcast. I am really honored and privileged to have Dr. Tony Youn with us. Tony, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it. This will be fun.
That's great. And of course, Tony needs no introduction. He's nationally acclaimed. He's the most best-known plastic surgeon in all of social media, and he is a great friend of mine, and he's a phenomenal plastic surgeon in Detroit, Michigan, and he's author of multiple books, best-selling books, and his most recent one, Younger for Life. I like that, Young for Life. That's a good one. Yeah. and it's about autojuvenation, and he's the most. God, you've got over 5 million subscribers on YouTube, right, and 8 on TikTok. So
yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
TikTok is amazing. It's crazy. So let's get into it. So why this new book? I mean, you're a holistic plastic surgeon. So why the new book on autojuvenation?
So, when I reached a point in my career, Rod, where I realized that what I was trained in I was missing something. And, when I went through residency and I did 4 years of, I did 3 years of general surgery, I did 2 years of plastics, I did a year of fellowship out in Beverly Hills. And I realized that there was a huge segment of medicine and really of looking and feeling good that I really didn't know that much about. And that was what to eat and lifestyle changes that can really help turn back the clock in some cases and can help you feel and look great as you get older. We're taught so much about surgery, right, and I feel very comfortable and confident with all my surgical training. But throughout that time, what do we get on nutrition? We got how to do TPN orders, we got how to what to put down somebody's feeding tube, but we never really got a whole lot of information on true nutrition. And so I spent thousands of hours studying it, and I realized that there was this huge part of really, I think, the whole anti-aging kind of sphere that I didn't know about, that I wanted to learn about, and that once I did, I wanted to share it with people as well.
Yeah, no, it's great, and you're right. We don't learn anything about nutrition. We don't learn anything about business or nutrition or anything else. So tell the audience. I thought it's intriguing. By the way, his book is phenomenal.
Thank you.
And so tell us about autojuvenation. What does that encompass?
So this is a term that I came up with where when I looked at what you can do short of surgery, short of injections, to be healthy and happy and look and feel great as you get older, there was really 5 specific things that I focused on. And those 5 things can really make a big difference. And so the first thing is always what you eat. Right. What you eat can have a profound impact on the health of your skin, on how quickly you age. It really is the foundation of living and can make huge impacts on your health and your appearance. Number 2 is when you eat. And one of the things I started learning about is intermittent fasting, and the fact that taking time to fast, taking time not to eat food can actually be very healthy for you, right, because it allows your body to undergo a process called autophagy, where it's an intracellular rejuvenation or recycling process that the body can undergo. And unfortunately, in today's day and age, when we're constantly snacking and eating all day, it doesn't do that. So that's when you eat is the second part of it. The third part of it is going to be skincare. Fourth part of it is supplements, nutritional supplements. I'm a big believer in nutritional supplements. Nutritional supplements have really been not something that traditional medicine has been all that keen on. And even, especially in the field of plastic surgery, it's not something we've talked about. You have written some really good articles about nutrition prior to surgery, which is something that I actually read those articles prior to writing my book, which I think is huge. And then the fifth part of it is going to be non-invasive treatments. And it's an exciting time in the field of plastic surgery because we have so many options now to improve the health of our skin and the appearance of our skin non-invasively. And so I really feel that if you focus on those 5 things, what you eat, when you eat, nutritional supplements, skincare, and non-invasive treatments, that you can make big, big changes in the skin and hopefully prevent some people from needing to go under the knife.
Right. No, and you actually laid that out beautifully in your book, and it's something easy to follow because all those things make sense, but how do you incorporate that? And you showed us how to incorporate that in your life, and you've obviously done that. So let's just break it down. And so I actually do intermittent fasting, and I became a believer. I mean, I've lost like almost 30 pounds doing that just after COVID, and it's been amazing. But it's it's also, the lifestyle and the nutrition. How do you incorporate that? You're a busy plastic surgeon like all of us, and how do you incorporate that into your life? And you travel a lot too, and
I think it's really important for everybody to make sure that they don't, I have friends of mine who are biohackers, and their entire life is spent about, focusing on these types of things. I think it's important for you to realize that you don't have to be perfect. And it's small steps that you take towards these goals. So for example, intermittent fasting. I have something that we have in the book called the 21-Day Jumpstart, where we make very simple changes to what you eat. We put you on a very simple skincare routine, and then 5 simple supplements. And we build in a little bit of intermittent fasting just in weeks 2 and 3. 2 days a week, that's it, where you intermittent fast for 16 hours. And we found significant improvements in the health of people's skin and how people looked and their energy levels. They lost a bit of weight. And these are very small changes. So I think the really important thing is, if you're listening to this podcast or you're watching it and you're like, well, geez, I'm not a biohacker. I'm not going to take 50 pills a day. I'm not going to, go on a 5-day water fast. Like, you don't have to do that type of stuff. It's the simple things. Start off by reducing the amount of sugary drinks that you drink. And when you look at the American diet, 20% of our calories come from sugar sweetened beverages, from soda pop, from fruit juices, from energy drinks. 20% of our calories are just empty calories. So just taking those simple steps, reduce the amount of sugary drinks that you drink, eating a few more colorful fruits and vegetables every day, focusing on healthy proteins, trying to get that good healthy protein every day. Those are simple things that you can do in addition to taking some supplements, basic supplements, and doing that skincare routine. You only have to take a few minutes a day, but they can reap big benefits.
Yep. So what are those 5 key supplements? Because there's so many out there, and which ones really work?
So the 5 that I focus on that I think are very simple is, number 1, a multivitamin that can help with nutrient depletion. We do believe that the food that we eat nowadays may not be as nutritious as it used to be. So taking a daily multivitamin, definitely helpful. Number 2, an omega-3 fatty acid supplement, basically fish oil. These are healthy oils that are anti-inflammatory. Right. Chronic inflammation is one of the great agers of our skin. So taking a daily fish oil supplement, or if you're vegan or vegetarian, there are omega-3 supplements made from algae that are great too. Number 3, you want to take a daily probiotic, at least 3 billion colony-forming units a day. We know now that the health of our gut has direct correlation to the health of our skin. And we are learning that certain inflammatory skin disorders actually have a huge basis in our gut. And so having a healthy gut microbiome by taking a daily probiotic, that can help with it. 4 would be a combination of antioxidants. Antioxidants fight free radicals. Free radicals cause oxidation. Oxidation, one of the main agents of our skin. That's when, taking a daily antioxidant supplement like vitamin C, it's the reason why we recommend eating colorful fruits and vegetables. It's the reason why we apply vitamin C serums to our skin. They're all to fight free radicals. And the 5th one is collagen. I do recommend taking a daily hydrolyzed collagen supplement. Over the last few years, there have been huge studies, meta-analyses of over 1,100, 1,700 people showing the benefits of a collagen supplement on the skin. And so those are the 5 that I focus on. There are other things that are great for you, taking a zinc supplement, vitamin D, those are all great too, but these hopefully cover most of those bases.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So you also talk a lot about the other things that people don't usually talk about. It's the stressors, the external things in our lives, the stressors, and how to, get to, to your inner self, mindfulness. And so how do you approach that? And I was intrigued by how you laid it out in the book, but what do you do?
So some of the things that I do, one of the things that you and I have in common is we're both big fans of yoga. I just turned 50 a year ago, so I'm 51 now, and my parents are in their 80s. My in-laws are in their 80s. And one thing that I have seen as I've watched them age is a loss of balance and mobility and agility. And there was a study that looked at people who had hip fractures, people over the age of 50. And this study found a 20 to 30% mortality rate within 12 months of fracturing a hip in somebody over the age of 50. Well, you and I are past that, okay? And what can you do then to prevent that? Like, you don't want to get a hip fracture as you get older, because now you got a 1 in 2 or 1 in 5-ish chance that you're going to die within 12 months of that happening.
Right.
So it really comes down to a couple of things. Number one, I'm a huge fan of yoga like you are, because I think it really is great for our balance. It's great for the overall psyche. There's so many benefits that you can get from it, but just from a physical standpoint, you can get strength and balance from yoga. You're working those slow twitch muscle fibers. But in addition to that, it's very important to work your fast twitch muscle fibers. So yoga will help you keep your balance if, let's say, you're tottering. But what's going to help you if you start falling? What's going to help stabilize you? It's going to be your fast twitch muscle fibers. And these are those muscle fibers that are used for explosive movements. And you need to work those and keep those working as you get older. Otherwise, they stop working. And that's why some people who are older, they trip on something and they just go flat on the ground and hit their face, because those muscle fibers are not used to working. So how do you work those fast twitch muscle fibers? Well, you combine the yoga, but you combine that with strength training.
Right.
Okay. And one of the things I put in the book, I have a good friend of mine who she specializes in exercise in people over 50 and functional exercises. And she recommends a basis of 3 different exercises as you get older to help strength train. And that is either a chest press or a bench press. It is leg press and rows. If you do those 3 workouts, those 3 basic things, everybody should be able to do that. Then you're going to work most of those muscle groups, the fast twitch muscle fibers, that will help to keep you nice and limber and strong as you get older.
Yep, that's great. And I actually, because of that, actually have started weight training. And it's truly, you're truly right, because, as we get older, we have to maintain our muscle mass. If you don't,
we do.
We have a lot of other problems going on. So you also mentioned a couple of things about skincare. And, I know you're a huge advocate. Your skin looks great, by the way, and I know you practice what you preach. So what are just the cardinal top 3 or 4 things that everybody should do? I'm just...
Yeah. So, I'm going to take out sunscreen, because everybody hears that all the time.
I know.
Okay. Sunscreen is so important. Like, oh, boy, yeah, boring. You say sunscreen. So the things that we may not know. Okay. Number one, I'm a big fan of retinoids. Retinol is very easy for people to get. If you have, and basically what it is, it's a derivative vitamin A. It's the non-prescription version of retinoids. Prescription version is tretinoin or Retin A. If you were to pick one anti-aging ingredient or a cream, most plastic surgeons and dermatologists would pick retinoids as their number one.
Right.
It's because they work, because they're scientifically proven. If you've got kind of thick, oily skin and you have access to a doctor that can get that for you, then I do recommend doing tretinoin or prescription strength, Retin A. If, however, you don't have access to it, or if your skin's maybe a little more sensitive, then the retinol, I think, is fantastic. It's easy to get. Most skincare companies have a retinol in their line. And so picking one of those, I think, super important if you're looking at reversing aging and kind of fighting that process. One of the things that I mentioned in the book is the fact that our skin is composed about 70 to 80% of collagen. And one of the big things that we want to fight off as we get older is the thinning of collagen in our skin. And we lose about 1% of the thickness of collagen every year. Women after menopause, there was actually a study that found that in the first 5 years after women go through menopause, they lose 30% of the thickness of collagen in their skin. 5 years. And then it's about 2 years 2% every year thereafter. That is huge. So how do you fight that process off? Retinols are a great way to fight that, to help to thicken that collagen, the dermis of your skin, and then also taking the collagen supplement I mentioned earlier, and then eating good sources of meat. So skincare number one would be the retinol. Number two, I do recommend an antioxidant serum every morning, ideally a vitamin C. If you combine that with vitamin E, it can be synergistic. That's one reason why CE Ferulic from SkinCeuticals is so popular. I have my own version, CE antioxidant serum, with my Youn Beauty line as well. Right. So doing an antioxidant serum every morning, I think, super important. And if I had to pick a third thing, so important, you got to cleanse your skin every night. So many of us, especially when we're younger, we're out late, we get home, we're so tired that we just go fall asleep. You got to wash your face at night. If you only wash your face once a day, do it at night, because you got to get rid of the day's worth of grime and dirt and pollution and buildup. And especially if you're wearing makeup, got to get rid of it at night.
I don't do that. But so how do you cleanse it? Just soap and water, regular soap?
So you want to find a cleanser that's appropriate for your skin type. And so if you've got, let's say, oily skin, then usually a foaming cleanser is a little bit better. It's going to help to control that oil a bit better for you. If you've got more sensitive or drier skin, then a more milky or hydrating cleanser is good. I don't recommend soaps. A lot of times the soaps are very drying to your skin.
Okay.
Really go for a facial cleanser. You don't have to spend a ton of money on a facial cleanser because it's just a cleanser. You know, if you're going to spend the money, spend it on the active ingredients, the active creams like the retinoids, like the peptides, like the growth factors. Don't spend all the money on the cleanser.
Wow, great. Wise words from a wise plastic surgeon and a great, great friend. Tony, you're amazing. I mean, I must say you just changed that level of plastic surgery. And by the way, he's a real plastic surgeon, a board certified plastic surgeon. Get this book. It's on Amazon and everywhere else, right?
Yes, yeah, you can find it everywhere books are sold. If you get it, we do have a website called Autojuvenation.com where we give you a bunch of free gifts if you get the book, and including a gift certificate to my online store if you live in the United States.
That's great. So, Tony, what are like the three key things you want to leave the audience and the viewers about just not only just this book, but really your thoughts on, living longer and better? Which is really what
I think the first thing is it's when you look at getting older, it's hard to get older because you look in the mirror and you start seeing things you don't like. I tell you, Rod, I'm assuming you've been in the same situation as me. I had an old friend of high school of mine who died 2 weeks ago, and I haven't seen him in like 30 years, but we communicated on Facebook and we used to hang out so much. And I've had in the last 3 years, 3 of my high school friends have died in the last 3 years. It's crazy.
I know.
So when you think about it, like, it's no fun. For me, I turned 50 a year ago, and it was like, dang, like, it's no fun to turn 50, but the alternative isn't so appealing. So it's a blessing to get older, but it's not so fun to see the wrinkles in the mirror, to see changes that you don't like. But this is a great time to fight that process off and to enjoy it because we have so much at our disposal, from learning about these things like food and nutrition to the non-invasive treatments to the Botox to even surgery that you can do to fight that process off. So that's the first thing I recommend is have gratitude because, man, right. It's no fun to get older, but who wants the alternative? So fight it every step of the way. Second thing that I really want to leave people with is that how you live your life can really impact how quickly you age. And there was a study that found that when you're looking at genetics, about 20% of our aging is due to our genes that we cannot change.
Right.
But 80% is epigenetics. And that is your genes will express themselves based off your lifestyle. So what you eat will impact how your genes express themselves. Your lifestyle and how you act, exercise, all that type of stuff. 80% is that. And then the third thing that I really always encourage my followers to do is to use plastic surgery as a last resort. I'm all for plastic surgery. I still operate 2 days a week, full time. But at the same time, there's so many other things that we can do short of surgery that isn't as risky. So always look at those options first, understanding that sometimes the only real good option is going under the knife, and that is okay.
Well, Tony Youn, very inspiring. And I say that about only a few people. Tony, you're phenomenal.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, same here, Rod. You have been such an inspiration for me. I've learned so much from you. I would not be the surgeon I am today without learning as much as I have from you. So you are a legend in our field, and it's so exciting to be on your podcast and to see how great that you're doing.
Well, you're amazing. And I tell you, wise words. Keep moving. Don't look back. Give back. And most importantly, just enjoy life and be grateful. That's amazing. Wise words. Thank you so much, and get his book. It's amazing. Thank you. Give us your comments on Rohrich Knows podcast, and thank you again, Tony, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a lot of fun.